Hello, welcome to Simply Race for round 4 of the Simply Race British Championships. We've got 3 touring car races coming to you this afternoon from the Oulton Park circuit. We've had 2 Clio races this morning, very exciting racing as usual around this Oulton Park circuit. And we're looking forward to seeing battle rejoined in the touring car championship between Matt Richards, who's leading the championship, just in front of Lewis Manley. And we're looking forward to seeing those two have a real good battle around this circuit as they see who can win this championship by the end. So the drivers at the moment are just in their qualifying session, and we're going to be going live to join that qualifying session so we can see some of the fastest times being set, and then we'll get ready for race 1.
Okay, so we now go live to the qualifying session. Hot laps already underway. Current order is currently shuffling all the time. You've got Lewis Manley, who's just set the provisional pole time of 1:26.05, running very wide on the exit of turn 1. Cameron Brewster in P2. Mark Winwood's secret favourite driver in 3rd place. 4th place, we've got Christian Kelly, debutising this round. Some fantastic racing in the Clios from him this morning, some very mature drives. Let's see what he can do today after a great performance in the first practice session.
I'd like to point out that I'm entirely impartial and I don't have any favourites. But we have seen some exciting racing from Daniel Handover in the previous rounds, so he's definitely one of the drivers to watch out for, as well as Christian Kelly, who did the double this morning in the Clio Championship with some fantastic controlled drives. So it's going to be really interesting to see how he gets on in the touring car class. He's currently 4th with a 1:26.802. I expect the pole time to be quite a bit quicker than that. It'll be interesting to see if anybody can get into the 24s maybe, but I think we've got the weight on now, so possibly 25 is going to be the best anyone can do. So Manley then at the moment on his 1:26.0. We're watching, this is Kelly, who's standing in for Chris Wilson in the Cam Sport Ice car. So currently in 4th place. As you can see, also all drivers are on the soft tyres, apart from Bennyworth at the moment, who appears to be running mediums. So slightly interesting tactic there. Whether he's going to pit later on in this session, there's only 6 minutes to go. So I would expect to see him put the soft tyre at some point, unless he's just trying to gain more information for the race, perhaps.
As Kelly goes to pole position provisionally, just under 2/10 ahead of Manley at 1:25.8. It took him a while to jump to the top of the grid as Harold goes P2 for 1:26.0. Some interesting lap times come in. For Bennyworth, I've got a feeling that it's potentially, because it's his first touring car race for quite a while, he's just getting a feel of the race pace once again, potentially. Maybe he wasn't fully happy with his pace in practice and just wants to practice his actual race pace a bit more. Yeah. Considering he's done a 1:27.1 on the mediums, which is faster than people have done on the softs.
It's a pretty good lap time, that, and he did have quite a good second race in the Clios this morning, where he finished in 2nd place. So, yeah, he might just be getting used to these touring cars on these tyres. You can see the gaps unbelievably tight. We've got 1,000th of a second between 2nd and 3rd. That's Harold and Manley. So the times are starting to tumble down now, and they're incredibly close between these top drivers. So Kelly's still there. We're watching him now. He's done a 25.8. He's on a fast lap at the moment.
Did run wide coming out of the final corner there. Might compromise him. He boxes and goes for fresh tyres. Probably knew he'd threw the lap away at that point, so you might as well just box at that point.
He'd have seen his delta that wasn't going to be an improvement on his current pole. And Handover has gone to the pole at 1:25.686. Fantastic lap there.
I think the track's really ramping up at the moment. I think we're going to see the order change quite a lot, because it's not usual that you see Manley 3/10 down on the pole position time. Also, Richards is quite far down at the moment. It's 6th position, not where I expected to see him.
No, so Richards, the current championship leader, 6/10 off the pole at the moment. So I'd expect to see him put in a better lap, but we'll have to see. Some of the drivers further down, Bennyworth has now put the soft on, so he's probably going to go out and see what ultimate lap time he can do. And then we've got Brown down there in 9th, Richardson, Hyde, Davies. So all these guys at the moment more than a second outside the current pole time, which is a pretty quick time, 1:25.6. So this is still Kelly. Maybe we'll see if we can have a look at, find some other drivers around the circuit, see what they're doing, see what Manley's doing. He's currently 4th. John Curry there 5th. Cameron Brewster, who's, I believe this is his first time he's done touring cars in this championship. Putting a strong performance there in 6th, ahead of the championship leader Richard 7th. So here's Lewis Manley then, in the distinctive coloured MG. He's currently 4th. And I'm sure he will want to... Lewis always wants to start at least on the front row. He's always pretty unhappy if he's not on the front row. So that'll be his target.
Yeah, I think Lewis is feeling the pressure this round. Obviously, he's quite far back in the standings now. P2, the championship is still in sight, but he needs a perfect 3 races today. And I'm sure he won't want to start in 4th place, especially seeing his main rival down in 7th. He needs to fully take advantage of that. As he goes up to 3rd place with a 25.9, he'll be a little bit happy with that. With the weight he's got on the car, I'm wondering if that's more effective around here than the other circuits we've had this season.
Yeah, it could be one of the reasons that Richards is seemingly at the moment struggling down in 7th for him. He's obviously carrying the maximum weight ballast as the championship leader. He's got a 24-point lead over Lewis Manley, so Manley's carrying quite a significant amount of ballast as well. But he's up there in 3rd, just 2 tenths off, so yeah, I think he'll be fairly happy with that, maybe a little bit more to come.
I wonder if he's going to box this lap and try and get one more lap in. It'll be very tight if he does that. I kind of feel like he's maybe left it a bit too late for that final lap. I've got a feeling this could be the grid, and it's quite a mixed-up grid, to be fair, not what we're used to. It'd
be very impressive if Handover can maintain this, because he is actually 3rd in the championship. He's kind of gone a bit under the radar, really. Here he is. So he's carrying a significant amount of weight as well. So for him to be currently on provisional pole is a really impressive performance so far. And of course, Kelly has the advantage that he hasn't got any success ballast on. So the drivers who carry the main ballast, 1st, 3rd and 7th.
I think what's impressed me with Handover this season is just the consistency that he's shown, hence why he's put himself in 3rd place. And every round he's got stronger with his pace. Let's see what he can do today. Will he get his first pole position, and what can he do from pole position? Because it's one thing to get pole, it's another to get off the line cleanly.
Yeah, start's absolutely crucial at this Oulton Park circuit. That first corner is quite open, and then you've got this run down here, down Cascades, out onto the island section. It can be off the start. There's a lot of action that goes on down there, as we saw this morning. So we've got, just looking at the lap deltas, nobody going purple at the moment.
I think they're just ramping up for their final laps, but with only about 45 seconds left to go of the session, they're kind of a bit tight, and we don't always let you run after you've crossed the line. Usually we just end the session once the 15 minutes is up. So a lot of these drivers, I think this is their position. If no one's improving on circuit, this could be the grid.
Yeah, so drivers have got to time it. They've got to keep an eye on that clock and time it so that they get all their laps in that they want to do before and don't get caught on their fastest lap when the session ends.
So I think for me the big talking point of this session is Manley qualifying behind Kelly, because from what we saw in the Clios, Kelly will defend perfectly and will manage his pace, so it's just fast enough to stay in front and keep his cool, where Lewis, as Richards, just jumps to 1st place at the last second.
1:25.6.
What a lap.
That is perfect timing from Richards. He's gone from 7th to 1st. He takes the pole position away from Handover at the absolute death. That pushes Kelly down to 3rd. Manley will be 4th.
Massive spanner in the works. Is this a good lap for Lewis, though? Let's see what he can do.
He needs
go
something
onto
here.
this final straight. And he doesn't improve, so he will start 4th place with his championship rival getting pole. Not what he needed, and Richards just seemingly pulling that lap completely out the bag.
Yeah, he hasn't looked particularly quick in practice or at any point during that session, and then right at the end, the absolute death. he pulls out a lap time like that. So a 1:25.641.
With maximum ballast as well.
Yeah, very impressive performance. But of course, that he's got to carry that maximum ballast for the whole of race 1. And will he be able to fend off the likes of Handover and Kelly, particularly, who doesn't have that ballast on? Yeah, looks like we've got a very exciting racing prospect, I'd say.
I'm looking forward to it. I think we're going to have to ride on board with Kelly at the start of this race and see what he can do from 3rd place. His 2 starts in the Clios were amazing. Yes, these are different cars, but his reactions just seem to be fully on point today.
He seems to have got the technique, yeah.
Yeah, like going from 5th, I mean, yeah, he would have probably finished about 3rd place if that if that incident at turn 1 didn't happen in race 2. But it was still such a good getaway. He was just on it before anyone else was even like awake and out of bed. He was already downstairs making breakfast.
He was absolutely ahead of the game, definitely. So, yeah, we're definitely looking forward to this. I think we've got a really interesting grid line up there. So we're going to take a short break, and then we will be back for race 1. Okay, so welcome back. We are on the grid, just waiting for the drivers to begin their warm-up lap for race 1 of this afternoon's 3 races around the Oulton Park circuit. We've just had a very exciting qualification session with Matt Richards right at the end of the session, putting in a tremendous lap time to get pole position with full weight ballast on board, just pipping Kelly to second place on the grid. No, I think we had handover, didn't we, in second place? So not quite sure if that grid order is correct.
I would assume handover's time has been deleted. The only thing I can think is maybe both of his laps. He did look right on the ragged edge when we was watching him in qualifying. He perhaps ran just a little bit too wide.
Yeah, so we haven't had word from race control, but we will have to assume that handover's best lap was removed, therefore that he will start 7th. So that has promoted Kelly up onto the front row alongside Richards. Manley will start 3rd. Francis Harold will be 4th. Cameron Brewster, who's making his debut today in the championship, will start 5th. It's a great performance for him. John Curry is going to be 6th. Handover will be 7th. There he is, we're looking at him now. And behind him, Richardson 8th, Ben Winter 9th, Ben Bennyworth in 10th position. Brown will start 11th, and Davies 12th, with Daniel Hyde in 13th. And there's Hyde there at the back. So, yes, this means we've got Richards and Manley, who are 2 championship leaders, separated by Christian Kelly in between them, who's carrying no ballast in comparison to Richards and Manley. So that could be very interesting to see how that plays out during the race. And then Harold and Brewster. Brewster also with no ballast on in the Subaru. It'll be interesting to see how he gets on. And then John Curry and handover. So you can see the drivers just warming their tyres a little bit. Richards is bunching the pack right up as they come down to the final turn before they line up on the start-finish line on the grid. And we are definitely got a very exciting race in prospect, I think, with this grid order. So just to note that Kelly is driving the Camsport Ice car. You can see there the white, grey and blue Camsport Ice car. He's standing in for Chris Wilson, so that's why it has Wilson written on it. But number 68, that is Christian Kelly. And then you can see the red white MG there of Lewis Manley in 3rd place, with the Pink Panther Racing Vauxhall Astra of Francis Harold in 4th. So drivers all look like they're in position, waiting for the lights to get this first race underway.
Let's see what Kelly can do from 2nd place as the lights go green. They were held for a long time. Another great start from Kelly, but Richards is going to hold P1 going into turn 1. Lewis is going backwards, really. He didn't have the greatest getaway. He holds 3rd for now. Very wide for Kelly for turn 1, but it looks like it's all status quo. We've got a few positions changing a little bit further back, but everyone's keeping it nice and tidy for now, which is great to see.
So it's Richards from Kelly from Manley. Harold is there 4th. Cameron Brewster is 5th. Curry in 6th. Winter 7th. And Richardson 8th. Handover's had a poor start. He's lost 4 positions. He's down to 11th. As they come up to the Oils corner for the first time, there's handover just being passed on the inside by the Subaru of Davies. And there is Richardson, and side by side here, this is John Curry and Winter. Winter in the Subaru going, looks like Curry's got the inside. Can Winter hang it round? He's got the inside for the second part of the chicane. Bit of contact, but Curry has managed to fend him off for now. So Curry holds his position in 6th, Winter 7th. Richardson there in 8th in the green Astra, and just behind them, Ben Bennyworth in the Camsport, the other Camsport Ice car, standing in for Sean King for this round. So Richards leads then on lap 1, and he's managed to fend off Kelly up at the start, and everybody sort of maintaining their good positions really, the top 6 all staying in the same position. So they're coming through the final corner onto the start-finish straight for the first time.
So what'll be really interesting to see is, will Kelly look after his tyres well without that weight? He's a lot less likely to wear them out than Richards in 1st place. So although the lap time difference on lap 1 is pretty large, Richards' first lap, rapid 1:32.8 from a standing start. Very quick lap to start with. And Kelly looks like he is pushing quite hard to stay in touch with him.
Yes, in your picture-in-picture there, you're riding on board with Kelly. So that's Richards in front of us. Yeah, his first lap was half a second quicker than Kelly's. So he's immediately trying to make a break. And then a bit further back, here's Manley we're watching now on the main screen. He's just behind Kelly. He's just in front of Francis Harold.
Lewis very close to Kelly. He'll probably be thinking of making early in this race. He doesn't want to leave it too late to let Richards pull away. Really, Lewis needs to win this race and race 2, to be fair, because there's a big gap from first to second in the championship at the moment.
Yeah, Richards has been very consistent and winning a lot of races. Lewis has had some problems in previous rounds, but he's still, when he gets his opportunity, he's still been scoring heavily, but he's definitely losing ground gradually to Richards in the championship, and he desperately needs wins, and mainly he needs to finish in front of Richards as much as possible.
I think Kelly's come alive this lap. He's really brought the gap down. He sets the fastest lap of the race, 1:27.186, which is a very quick time on the medium tyres. I think that's quicker than pretty much anyone's set on the medium tyres in practice, which is really impressive on lap 2 of the race. So he's really brought that gap down to Richards. Richards, obviously, with the weight on his car, it is going to give him a big disadvantage. So traction coming out the corners will be reduced, his tyre wear will be increased. And as we've seen from the first races today in the Clios, Kelly is an extremely mature driver, and then he wipes out the cones as I'm giving him a compliment.
It was interesting there that Richards went deep into the hairpin. So did Kelly, actually. So I think he got sucked in a bit by Richards going deep. It changed his line through the hairpin as well, hence the cone clipping on the exit. But yeah, it looks like Kelly's quite keen. He's feeling quite confident around this circuit. He seems to suit him. And at the moment, he is definitely putting the pressure on. Lewis Manley sitting there in third. He'll just be quite enjoying this. I think he'll probably be hoping that Kelly can get past Richards or certainly start battling with him. And maybe Lewis will be able to pick up the pieces if it all goes wrong.
That's what Lewis needs in this round, is for Kelly to take points away from him. But what Lewis needs more is to win the race. I think if Kelly takes points away from him, yes, it's better than Richards just winning the race, but how's he going to bring that gap down of 20 plus points to the championship leader if he's finishing behind him?
Yeah, it's going to be a tall order, that's for sure. We can see in the corner of the screen, we're watching Ben Bennyworth in the other Camsport Ice car, just in front of Daniel Handover. They're battling over 9th position. Handover, the big loser off the start. He's lost 3 places. Well, he's recovered slightly, but he's 3 places down from where he started on the grid.
Ben Brown has dropped right to the back, and we saw a yellow in sector 3 briefly there. I'm hoping he hasn't spun. I'll have a little look and see what's happened to him.
So it's an 18-lap race, and drivers very much got to look after their tyres through these early stages as much as they can, but passing is not that easy at this Oulton Park circuit. So they've got one thing in their mind, which is they want to conserve their tyre life, but at the same time they want to try and get track position at any opportunity that presents itself. So we've pretty much got the front 4 pretty much together. Brewster's not far back in 5th, and then John Curry again also not too far behind, running in 6th position. And the gaps at the moment staying fairly stationary. The lap times are very similar. Kelly's done the best lap so far. Oh, and we've got a spinner. Ben Brown is spun on the straight.
This is what happened to Ben Brown. I'll just take that back a bit for you, Mark, so you can see that properly.
Yeah.
Quite an interesting incident there.
So this is Ben Brown running just behind Davies. Oh, what happened there?
So he clipped the wall from the look of it. It was a very odd incident. I've not seen anyone crash there at all race.
I've not seen that before. It was almost like, yeah, he just sort of clipped. Whether it was an invisible wall or whether it was a real wall, I don't know. It was a bit weird.
I can tell you from the Clio race, there is a little bit of extra tarmac you can use there. But right, the arm coving does jut out just a very slight bit, so if you take too much of that extra little bit of tarmac,
right,
you will collect that bit of arm coving and it just spins around as it did there with Ben Brown.
Yeah, okay, so that's useful information. Colin Talbot's joined us in the commentary box to give us a bit of driver's insight. He was driving in the 2 Clio races this morning, so a bit of interesting insight from a driver who's familiar with this track. Might have caught Ben Brown out there. So we're back with the leaders here. So very much a 5-car train, this really. 1st to 5th, all pretty much together. And it's going to be interesting to see. Are there any really good passing places on this circuit, Colin? Where do you think is a possible?
No, there's not. Going into the final corner is probably the best bit. If you can get a good drive through the double right-hander.
Here we go. Look, Kelly's having a look up the inside of Richards into the lodge corner there.
And yep, that is it. Into that corner, inside or outside. If you can get the drive, that is the best place to do. Sometimes you can pressurise into turn one as well.
Okay, yeah. So there's not many absolute clear-cut places, but it's more the question of building up to it and just seeing if you can get enough momentum out of one corner into another. The last corner, the first corner, probably be the best for that.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
So Kelly, he's had a bit of a look into Lodge corner on the last lap. He's still very close as they go through Island Bend. Now they're coming up to Shell Oil's corner. Richards is just holding. He hasn't got as good an exit. Kelly looks like he's got quite a good drive out of Shell Oil's corner, and he's just moving around a little bit, trying to have a look. Richards has gone defensive. Kelly's trying to go around the outside here at the chicane. He's got his nose in there. Richards has to give him space. But I think Richards got the inside here. Manley now, look, he's come to see if he can take advantage of this.
Kelly's going to have such better speed going out of the corner.
Still side by side.
Richards on the grass. They're still side by side running into the next turn.
Richards left the inside. Lewis is going for it.
He's backed out of it because he's clipped Richards there.
Wow, that was nearly a big shunt if Lewis had got in there. But the result is that Kelly has got the lead because he had the inside through that last corner as they head down to Lodge corner now.
But now it looks like Lewis has got some pressure from behind as well, as Brewster's all over the back of him as well now. So this group has really got to clean it up. This could be anyone's race at the moment.
So it was a case of Kelly really sort of did that move over about 3 or 4 corners, and eventually he managed to get that move done. And it has slowed up Richards, but look, he's fighting back now as they head down Cascades.
Side by side, Kelly into the lead.
Contact between Richards.
Lewis contacting Richards again.
Lewis Mandy trying very, very hard. It looks like he's allowed John Curry to... No, sorry, it's Francis Harold. He's got alongside him as they head, but Lewis has the inside. He should defend that. Brewster's in there as well in the Subaru. He's all over the back of them. And look, round the outside, John Curry's overtaken Brewster around the outside. It looks like he's got the place. There's John Curry in the pink and blue Astra. He's in front of Brewster now. And Harold is attacking Manley into the chicane. Tremendous race so far. We're just on lap 7 of 18 at the moment. But Kelly has just pulled a few car lengths on Richards, I think. Maybe that lack of weight helping him. We know how good Kelly is around this Oulton Park circuit. And then Manley. Harold now 4th. Curry has got past. Brewster's lost a couple of spots, actually. He's down to 7th. So it's Curry in 5th. Ben Winter is 6th, and Cameron Brewster in 7th.
I think we're going to see a completely different strategy from Kelly this race. I think he's going to try and drive away a bit and build a gap. He knows that Richards and Manley are fast. I don't think he can really afford to ease off the pace with these guys, but he does. I think he saved his tyres, even though he was following the car in front. I've got a feeling his tyres are in better condition. His lap time is 3/10 quicker than what Richards has done. That's a huge margin for these guys.
Yeah, it's a very good lap time, and at the moment he looks comfortable in the lead. Richards, however, is not going away. He's still there, and he'll be looking at his mirrors and just really wanting to make sure he does not let Lewis Manley too close. So in the corner of your screen, you've got the battle that's going on over 5th position. Winter looks like he's got the inside of Curry there, and contact between Brewster and Curry on the exit of Shell Oils. So Winter now up into 5th in the red and white Subaru. Brewster there in 7th position, side by side with Curry through the chicane. He's got the line here, but Curry should hold it. He's on the grass. He's still got the inside line here. Contact again. He's pushed Brewster onto the grass, and there also is Richardson in the green Astra has come to join the battle.
Welcome to the party. Let's see what he can do now, making it a battle of 3 around this extremely tight and narrow circuit where we didn't think there'd be much overtaking, but the driver's really trying to prove us wrong today. Some
tremendously skillful sim racing going on here. We've had no real accidents, just a little bit of contact, just a bit of touring car contact here and there, which is absolutely fine. But you can see, look at Richardson, he's got round Brewster there. So he's got the green and white Astra into 7th place now, and he's right behind John Curry there in the pink and blue Pink Panther Racing.
So,
Astra.
at risk of sounding like a scratched record, I think Curry has killed his
Richards
tyres.
has got on the grass.
Richards is off,
Cascades.
yes.
And he's deep into the gravel. He dropped his rear wheel onto the grass in the braking zone, and the car went sideways. And gathering it up, he had no choice but to run wide, and it's cost him several places. He's down to 5th, and Lewis Manley will be delighted to see that.
Lewis will be extremely happy about that. Now he's in 2nd place with Kelly in front of him. Are we now going to see a charge from Lewis? Will Lewis suddenly switch on the pace to think, right, I've got the chance to close this gap down now? And to be fair, I think all this battling going on behind Curry has kind of saved Richards there a little bit, because there was a big gap from that group. He's very nicely slotted into that group, well, in front of that group by quite a margin, which is quite lucky, because if he got stuck behind Curry, he would then potentially have Richardson and the rest behind him. So you'd have Richards, Curry, Richardson, Bennyworth, Brewster, Handover all over him. It would be really hindering his race.
You can see him just in the background of that shot, just there in 5th place, Richards. So he's still not out of this. He can still regroup and get back to this into this lead group battle. But Manley there, running 2nd. He's got Francis Harold, who's been shadowing him the whole race so far on lap 10 of 18. But Kelly's still the man in front, and he's got that few car lengths gap at the moment. A little bit of a gap behind Harold to Ben Winter in the red and white Subaru, who's having a great drive. He's up 5 places from his starting position. So, yeah, great effort by Ben Winter so far.
I think someone just went off. I think Brewster just crashed off completely going into Cascades there. We've got a yellow in Sector 1. I'll see if I can bring that up and find a replay. Yeah,
definitely Brewster's dropped right down to 12th position, so it looks like something has happened to him on that part of the circuit. We'll see if we can bring that to you. We've got a replay here in the corner of your screen. Same thing as Richards, really. Dropped the wheel, his right rear wheel, onto the grass, and then it just spat him off to the right-hand side into the barriers. So, costly mistake there for Brewster.
Extremely lucky that we don't run damage in these touring cars, because he would have probably been out of the race. Yes, he's dropped right down, but he's got the chance to catch up.
He's still in the race. But obviously that's one thing that we've seen 2 drivers do now. So it seems to be a tricky part of the circuit that it seems easy to drop your right rear wheel onto the grass there, and then you're in big trouble.
At this stage of the race, yeah, it is. The tyres are starting to go, particularly the front left. And to get the power down and get going as you need to, you can start to run a little bit wide, and that's when you're going to come across just touching the grass.
Yeah, and particularly these touring cars, if you touch the grass at that sort of speed when you're trying to brake or turn, you're going to have a big problem. And that's what we've seen a couple of times now. In fact, Richards, I think, did really well to keep it out of the wall.
He did extremely well, yeah. I could also say that I've seen Kelly a couple of times now actually leaving black marks and a bit of tyre smoke these last couple of laps. So it might be that he's starting to wear his tyres a little bit more. So Lewis could start to gain them, because Lewis, again, is very good with his tyres as well.
Yeah, we can see here that Kelly's definitely not getting away. And Manley's there within a few car lengths. And also Francis Harold is also shadowing Manley quite closely.
So Colin, put yourself in Manley's shoes right now. Your championship rival has made a mistake. He's dropped down to 4th position. What do? Do you stay position and think, I'm going to close some points? Or do you start to gamble and start to push and try and bring in Kelly? What would you do in his shoes?
Without a doubt, Lewis has to push. He's got the extra weight on, so if he can get behind Kelly, he'll get a little bit of a toe, which will help him get along. Harold is an aggressive driver, and Harold will attack. So if Lewis tries to back off a little bit, maintain position, chances are Harold will get him. So Lewis has no choice but to push.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think the fact is, Francis Harold is a big factor in this race. He's very close to the back of Manley, as we can see there. And Manley's got to be very careful not to lose another position, actually. So, yeah, he's got to look forward and see if he can put some pressure on Kelly and get into the lead in this race.
Got another yellow in Sector 3, and I've seen Ben Winters dropped all the way to the bottom of the pack.
Oh, that is a shame. He was doing a great race in the Subaru there, Ben Winter. But that has given Richards another spot, so he's up into 4th.
It's a bit of a risky take with those rear-wheel drive Subarus, so a little bit too much power, and the rear end will snap on you very quickly.
Yeah, so it looks like something has caught Ben Winter out, so he's right back down to 13th. So That means we've got Kelly, Manley, Harold, Richards is 4th, Curry 5th, Richardson going well in 6th, Bennyworth also doing a solid job in 7th, and Handover is now 8th after his difficulties at the start. You can see in the corner of your screen there, we're looking at Richardson in the green and white extra there, just in front of Ben Bennyworth, who's running 7th. So yeah, you can see how close they are in the midfield. Look, that's sort of 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th position all pretty much together in the midfield. Harold was slightly wide there on the grass, I noticed.
I can see Kelly is doing exactly the same as what he was doing in the clear races. He had the comfortable lead. It looks like he's backed off a little bit, and now he's starting to stretch his lead again. He's pulling away from Lewis as and when he wants to. I don't see Lewis getting anywhere close to him to challenge for P1. Yeah,
it looks like Kelly has just dropped his lap times in the last lap or so. He's running at the moment about a tenth or so quicker than Manley on each lap. But he was 3/10 quicker than Harold last time around. So yeah, I think it looks like Kelly's feeling like he's got the race under control at the moment.
Got it very quick for a newer driver in the venue. It's very impressive the way he's got to grips with the way these tyres work and how to manage them through the race.
Yeah, certainly he demonstrated that very much this morning in the clear races. Manley looking a little bit under pressure there, I thought, coming out of Shell Oil, as he was sort of a bit wide, not quite on the right line. I think he's looking in his mirrors. He knows that Harold is there, and Harold will not. He'll certainly have a go if he can get close enough.
Also hotting up with the pack behind these guys with Richardson, Bennyworth and co. all closing right up with 5 laps of this race to go. A lot could still happen.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not done yet. We're looking at, so this front 3, they've broken away a little bit from Richards, who's recovering from that little moment in the middle of the race. So I don't think Richards is going to be able to get back on terms with these front 3 unless something happens between them. But
can
yeah,
just
the battle in
see
the midfield,
on
handover.
the screen, yeah, handover on Bennyworth, like right up the inside. They're neck and neck coming onto the final straight.
Yeah, it looks like handover in the blue and pink Astra has got past Bennyworth. He's got the inside line.
You've got Davies having a look as well up the inside of Bennyworth. Little bit of contact there, unsettles the car, but he keeps it on the track.
Yeah, so great move there. So real battle raging in the midfield. And here we can see Manley is still very, very close to the back of Kelly here at the hairpin.
I really feel that Kelly's just saving his tyres now. I don't think Lewis will find a way past him. I think Kelly is fully managing the pace. I've just seen Ben Winters put the soft tyres on, which is interesting. I think he's going for fastest lap.
Yeah, he's obviously thought my race really is done. I'm not going to get a great result out of this, but let's have a go for the fastest lap. Kelly was flashing his lights on the straight there. I'm not quite sure who he was flashing his lights at. Did you notice that?
Yeah, that was a little bit strange. Maybe he's trying to distract Lewis in any way that he can, you know. It could just be mind games, you know, or an accident. He might have just accidentally flicked it. It's easily done with these wheels.
Yeah, possibly. Anyway, it seemed to scare somebody off the road who's not in front of him. But anyway, so it does look like he's got it under control, though. The gap is yo-yoing a little bit between Manley and Kelly, but overall, Kelly doesn't look like he's feeling any pressure.
No, but let's have a look at handover once again. He's all over the back of Richardson. He looks so much faster than the rest of this group at the moment. He's come alive in the second half of this race.
Yeah, so maybe, again, he's another driver who's getting his head around these tyres, and he's able to maintain his pace for longer as the race goes on.
It looks like I can see a bit of traffic there. Is that Curry's caught Richards? Curry's on the back of Richards.
Curry is on the back of Richards, but in fact, it looks like everybody's caught Richards, so maybe that moment in the middle of the race has damaged Richards' tyres.
Up the inside for handover. He nearly bins it in the barrier and drops all the way to the back of the queue again. That's the one thing you don't do into that hairpin. You don't dive bomb, because that's always going to be the result. If you're alongside and you can just outbrake them, perfect. But if you are diving, it's always going to end wrong for you.
Yeah, so handover's undone all his good work there, and he's back to the back of the queue with his midfield, and he's back down in 9th place again.
He'll
But
be
yeah,
fuming.
we
He
can
will be fuming with himself. And let's see what he can do with 3 laps to go.
But we can see that the head of this group now is Richards, because he's come back towards this group. And he's got John Curry quite close behind him now. So I think Richards is going to have a real difficult few laps towards the end of this race.
That's really interesting how much his pace must have dropped off. That gap was around 4 seconds at one point. So his tyres must be absolutely gone from that off earlier in the race. And we know from Curry's previous races this season that he's not the kindest on his tyres, but look how much more grip he's got. Look at the traction he's got coming out the corners. He looks so much faster. As predictably, Ben Winter sets the fastest lap of the race of a 1 minute 27.088.
You can see Richards missing some of the apexes now. Certainly at Lodge Corner on that last lap, he missed his apex quite significantly, and that's not the sort of thing a driver like Richards often does. So he's definitely struggling with some sort of issue, and he's under severe pressure. Curry's running to the back of him slightly there. He's
And look, we got Davies on the outside.
Richardson's on the inside as well, in the green Astra.
Keep it calm, guys. You know, let's keep the racing good. Let's not go insane because it's coming to an end.
And it looked like Bennyworth was on the grass there coming out of Shell Oils through.
He definitely was. He's dropped quite far back because of it.
Yeah, Richards would have lost about 20% of his tyre, or
Right.
up to 20% of his tyre when he had that off.
Yeah.
And he also would have had some flat spots, so for the several laps afterwards he would have been struggling a little bit with the braking on that.
Yeah, and I think that's what we can see coming home to roost now is the problem. On lap 16, he's become a bit of a train now. You can see he's got the whole midfield bottled up behind him, really. And this is going to make for a tremendously exciting end to the race.
Lewis is all over the back of Kelly. We're going to have to cut back to the front, I think, although it looks like John's about to overtake Richards around the outside of the final corner, but Lewis has all of a sudden come alive at the end of this race, and he's all over Kelly.
We've got a tremendous race going at the front and in the middle.
He's thinking about it going into Cascades. He's definitely nearly alongside. He's backed out of it, which is the wise thing to do. There's a bit of contact.
They're three
He's
wide.
forcing his way through. Alongside, side by side, going down to Island Bend. Fantastic racing for the both of them.
Curry's got past Richards in the main screen, you'll notice, and Richardson is all over the back of Richards as well. He's having a real go.
He has, and Lewis again up the inside. Lots of margin though. I can imagine the race director getting in touch with Lewis, telling him to maybe stop pushing so much. Richards really struggling now.
He's lost some pace to Richardson. Richardson's got him on the exit of Shell Oil's corner, and now Bennyworth is there as well. And we've got Davies as well in the black and white Subaru is also there. Richards could fall right to the back of this group.
So any one of the top three could win this race right now. I think Kelly might have eased off too much, but look at Harold up the inside. They've touched.
Contact.
The two cars go flying to the other sides of the circuit. Harold just has to outbrake Lewis going in here, and he'll have the position. Lewis somehow braves it round the outside.
I don't know how Lewis Manley held that round the outside. For me, it looked like Harold's got the corner, but tremendous driving by Lewis Manley to fend him off, and he's still got a chance to win this race.
This is a man on a mission. He doesn't know what's happening to Richards behind him, but he's acting like he's out of the race and that he has to win it.
Here comes Davies on Richards. He's got past, he's taken that place.
Harold on the
Handover as well.
outside.
Handover has also got through. Richards is 9th. He's 8 positions down from the start.
Harold runs off at turn 1. We've seen that it can give you a bit of an advantage doing that, although he has dropped back a little bit.
We're on the last lap now. It looks like Richards is in big trouble. He is going to be stuck in 9th. I don't think there's much he can do. But will Lewis Manley be able to win this race to compound his misery?
I think Kelly has actually got this sorted. I think he's been managing the pace, although he's run a little bit off there, giving Lewis a chance to get the drive.
Harold's alongside Manley as well.
Harold
Jeffy
is
Kelly was slow.
barging again.
Kelly was a bit slow into there, and he's held up Lewis actually. And as a result, Harold's going to try and get round Manley at the chicane. They're side by side. Can Lewis hold the inside for the next right-hander?
Lewis will need to be careful on the curbs now. If he stays on the inside, that's what happened to Harold last time round when he was challenging Lewis. He hit the first curb on the right-hander, which bounced his back end off and lost him a little bit of drive.
Yeah, we saw a bit of contact there between Harold and Manley, but Lewis is just about holding it in front. This is all allowing Kelly a bit of breathing space. Perfect scenario for him.
Absolutely phenomenal driving from these top three. You kind of think Kelly maybe purposefully backed these guys up for this to happen, and it's fully worked for him as Francis looks round the outside. Last chance saloon as we go onto the start-finish straight. Kelly takes the win, but who's going to come second? At the moment, Lewis just gets a nose ahead and takes P2. brilliant racing from those guys. And John Curry comes home in 4th place with Richardson just behind him. Bennyworth 6th, Davies 7th, Handover 8th, Richards 9th place. Ouch.
What a tremendously exciting race, first race of this afternoon. Yeah, I think a disaster really for Richards after that moment when he went off the track. He did recover initially, but then it looked like he really struggled towards the end of the race and eventually got swamped by the entire midfield. But yeah, great drive by Christian Kelly, very much like he did this morning in the Clios, just very considered, controlled, pulled a great move to get into the lead, and after that he did look like he'd sort of got it under control. Yeah,
I'm very much in the belief that Kelly had that under control all the way through, was backing off a little bit, letting Manley catch up, which did put him into the clutches of Harold. Harold and Manley, brilliant driving with the pair of them. They would nose to tail, side by side, kept it very clean, very small touches, but nothing deliberate and nothing nasty, and it was a joy to watch that. Yeah, really great race. Some great performances. Richardson 5th, he drove a great race, as did Bennyworth, I think, coming 6th. He's 4 places up from his starting position. So yeah, some absolutely brilliant battling throughout the whole field, and yeah, so a lot of drivers will be quite pleased with that, but Richards definitely not going to be one of them. So no, Richards has suffered quite a bit from that race, and it's going to make a big difference to the standings. Although on the next race, he will be a lot lighter on ballast. Yeah, so we will get a quick word with the top 3 finishers from that race, and we'll round them up, drag them in, and we'll have a quick chat with them just in a couple of minutes' time. Right, so after a tremendously exciting first touring car race, a familiar face joining us. Christian, you've won your 3rd race win of the day, 100% record so far, round Oulton Park.
Yes.
What about that?
Yes, it is.
So you basically put a fantastic pass on to take the lead from Richards.
Yep.
And then once you got in the lead, comfortable?
Nope.
No, not at all.
Not for a microsecond. I was doing some sort of hand yoga with the steering wheel trying to get round the last few laps because the car just had nothing left. I think I finished with 2% tyres.
Right.
And I was guessing the guys behind were probably slightly better off, having known how to manage them. I'm wet through, so it tells you all you need to know, really.
Well, it's a tremendously exciting race from our perspective. There was battling throughout the whole field, but yeah, you just seemed to be, you looked like you had it under control really at the front. I mean, you never had a big gap, but there was a couple, you came under a bit of pressure from Lewis, but he never really had a great chance at passing, I don't think.
No, I mean, all I was thinking is don't get your wheels alongside me because he's going to be faster. So just trying to put my car wherever, park it on the apex, do everything I could to stop him. And at the hairpin, I mean, my hand is so far away from the gear paddle. I mean, I'm just revving up in first, and I'm, you know, so no, it wasn't cool, calm, and collected. It was panicky, terrifying, and can I hold on to this?
Stressful.
Stressful,
so
indeed.
What do you think? Can you do a clean sweep? Can you win another 2 races this afternoon?
No, I don't think so. Look, I've never driven with ballast, so there's excess ballast to go on the car.
Yeah.
I don't know how much, but
makes a big difference. Yeah,
we'll see. So look after my tyres in the next race and finish as high as possible is the aim. If I get in the top 3, that's awesome. If I get in the top 6, that's awesome. So
okay.
I'm comfortable. I'll see what happens.
Cool.
Massively mature drive there from you at the end. You must be thinking about maybe doing a full-time season in these cars.
Yeah, the more the merrier. it's better for everyone, you know, if we get some new people in, mix it up a bit, see what happens, and then go from the Clios and then move up to the touring cars. So, yes, and a nice little sales pitch there as well, Grant. Very good.
All right. Well, we'll hopefully speak to you again later on.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Cheers. Right, so we'll bring our second place finisher there, Lewis Manley, in for a quick chat. So Lewis must be fairly pleased with that, I think, particularly as Richards had a bit of a real struggle in that race.
Yeah, absolutely. I really had good fun in that race. I don't know what I have to do to win a race because I haven't won this season yet. I tried everything I could, and then Christian defended so well, there's nothing I could do. I tried to go side by side, but I just couldn't get the momentum because of the weight. So therefore, he continued to pull away on the straight. So, and as you say, Richards made his mistake because he going towards Cascades, he hit the bump, twitched, and then made a mistake and went on the grass, and he fell down the order. So that's helped my championship a little bit. So hopefully I can do the same.
We saw a couple of drivers make that mistake down Cascades. It's an easy one to do, and then. So yeah, you've been a bit unlucky, I suppose, because you've come up against Kelly with no weight on in that race. But the next race, of course, he'll have the weight on. So I guess you're hoping you'll be able to get your win at some point this afternoon.
Yeah, because I need something. Because as I say, I haven't won a race yet in these 10 races we've had so far. And as Richards fell down, I don't know if he finished fifth or he went down to fifth, and I don't know if he came ninth. So yeah, that's helped my championship. So I'm back in it.
He almost seemed to go off the cliff with his tyres because he was in fifth, and then he went back towards the whole midfield group, caught him, and then they all passed him. So he obviously had some sort of major tyre drama, I think, at the end. Yeah,
because I was 24 behind going into today, and I'm not sure how much I've closed, but I know I've closed probably about half the points. So I'm hopefully can go one better in the second race, and I know Richard's got less weight this time, so I'm going to hope him to struggle in the midfield again, and hopefully I can go one better and pull away and try and feel comfortable.
So this second race, with Kelly having ballast on now, a bit more of an even fair fight between the two of you. And yeah, I'd say you got a good chance of getting a race win in the second one, perhaps.
Hopefully, because I just need to get a win, so that will give me a good boost. So because I'm not used to not winning a race all season, so I just got to make a good start in race 2, hopefully get side by side and get clear, and hopefully pull away, and hope the others fight and defend each other so I can feel comfortable out front.
All right. Well, best of luck for the rest of the day, Lewis.
Fingers crossed.
See you later. Cheers. Okay, so we're going to bring in Francis Harold, who finished third in that race. Let's have a quick word with him. So, Francis. Hello. First time you've been on the podium, I think, touring cars this season.
Well, first time I've spoken to you.
Yep.
I won the third race of of Britan somehow.
Yes, you did.
But the stream went down, I think, so we didn't have the interview. But yeah, that was a
exciting
intense one.
Yeah, it was a really exciting race from our point of view. Lot of you tried very, very hard to get past Lewis. You were side by side with him several times. Just couldn't quite pull it off.
Yeah, there was a couple of times where I kind of just backed out of it a little bit because I was like, if I go and really try for this, we're just going to wipe each other out. And I felt like we had the ability to get Christian if we'd like just worked a little bit harder. A couple of times I backed off down the straight just to let Lewis get back in so we could have another go.
Yeah,
he was there for the taking. He definitely will be in race 2 with a bit of ballast on. But it should be should be a good one. But it was the tyre wear is you're doing like a second and a half off your best 5 laps in, and the tyres are just screaming mercy. So
it's a real kind of psychological battle you're having with yourself to try and make
I think
pace.
we're all just kind of waiting for the last couple of laps and see who's got the best tyres and then go for it. Then I think that was definitely what was happening. You could see Christian was when he got past Richards, I thought he was going to pull away, but he didn't. Which so I was like, okay, he's saving a lot. But then even at the end, he was really struggling, and I think me and Lewis both could have.
I think he said
had a crack. Yeah.
Oh,
wow, that's that was pushing it.
Yeah, he used everything he'd got. So, so I guess you're feeling quite happy with this track, and you're quite optimistic for the next 2 races.
Yeah, it's a nice track because you can really push it to the limit, and when you hit it in the sweet spot, you get it really nice. Like it's really easy to slide the car if you just go a little bit too hard on it.
Yeah.
And it's just a lot easier to just be smooth, not get the rear out or anything, especially in the front wheel drive Astra. It just wants to understeer everywhere.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, you just got to be a bit smooth, and yeah, I think I had 30% left at the end of the race. So yeah, knowing that, I've a bit more weight for the next one, but that should be a good one. Close the field up a little bit, but looking forward to another battle with Manley.
Yeah,
should be good.
We're definitely looking forward to that, and hopefully we'll speak to you again at the end of one of the other races.
All right, cheers.
Thanks a lot. Okay, so the drivers are going to be getting ready for race 2. We'll take a short break, and then we're back with you for hopefully another race that's as exciting as that one we've just seen. for round 2. Race 2 of the day in the Touring Car Championship. Tremendously exciting race in race 1. It really did all kick off towards the end. But now we've got a slightly different race in prospect here, because although we will have Christian Kelly starting from pole position, he will now have to carry 75 kilos of success ballast. Lewis Manley will be alongside him on the front row, carrying 66 kilos. So one of the advantages that Kelly had in that race 1 was the fact that he didn't have to carry any success ballast because of his previous... He hadn't previously been in this championship, so he was making his debut, so he didn't have to carry any weight. And that was obviously... would be an advantage to any driver. So now we're going to see what Kelly's really made of with 75 kilos on. Manley will be alongside him. Francis Harold will be third, carrying 57 kilos. John Curry in fourth will start fourth, 48 kilos. Will Richardson, who had a tremendous drive in race 1 to finish fifth, will start fifth in this one. He will carry 38 kilos. Ben Bennyworth, also another debutant in the series this year, will start from 6th place, so he's going well. 33 kilos for him. Ollie Davies will start 7th with 27 kilos. Daniel Handover had a bit of an up and down race in that first one. Is going to be 8th with 21 kilos. Matt Richards, our championship leader, who really struggled in that race towards the end, particularly, will be starting 9th with just 15 kilos. So it will be interesting to see how he can come through the field. And then Ben Brown will start 10th with 9 kilos. And then the back 3 will be Cameron Brewster in 11th, Daniel Hard 12th, and Ben Winter will start 13th in the Subaru.
Really looking forward to this race. If race 1 was anything to go by, we're in for another blockbuster. Christian Kelly has really come of age in these last few weeks at Simply Race. He's just so fast today. Can anyone stop him?
Yeah.
They can, yes, but I think he's outsmarting everyone.
He is so far. I mean, he's won every race so far here today. He's won both Clio races and the first touring car race. But I think this is an interesting test for him, carrying this ballast. He's inexperienced in carrying the ballast, so he's not going to be fully up to speed with how it's going to affect the balance of the car particularly. And he's got Lewis Manley, who we all know, the double champion in this series, who knows all about this and how this works. So, fascinating racing prospect.
Well, Lewis carrying the same amount of weight that he did in race 1 should be a massive advantage. So we're getting ready for the lights to go green here. We're just waiting for the last few to line up, and we're about to go green. Long hold, very long hold. Okay, here we go. I can hear the lights going.
Here we go, they're away, and it looks like it's a good start from Manley this time. He's got alongside Kelly as they head up to the first corner for the first time. Kelly has the inside. Manley goes straight round the outside. Fantastic move. That's experience of knowing the ballast, I think.
There was a lot of confidence there, but we've got the other Cam Sport car off. I think that's Bennyworth on the grass there.
Yeah, Bennyworth out wide on at the exit of the first corner. So we've got Manley's got straight into the lead. Kelly is second. Behind him, Harold and Curry in the 2 Pink Panther Astras. And then Davies is 5th. Bennyworth is being shown as still in 6th place. He's just been passed, I think.
Oh, Ben Winter very deep into the hairpin there, around the outside of 2 cars almost there. So he's literally gone from last to 10th place as Ben Winter on that one. Great moves.
Yeah, that's in the corner of your screen, riding on board with Ben Winter in the Subaru. He's had a great start. He's having a look to try and pass Richardson as well into the chicane. They're side by side. Where's Richardson gone? There's a bit of contact.
I think he forced him off the track there. A little bit rude, but I've not seen it from the other car's perspective, so maybe the other car should have backed out just a little bit, but interesting move.
Here we see Christian Kelly coming under a lot of pressure from Francis Harold. So Kelly carrying that 75 kilos of weight, not something he's really got much experience of in this championship. So he'll be just trying to feel his way around, trying to minimise the damage. Here goes Harold. He's gone up the inside. There's contact. Just enough space. Kelly's left him just enough room, and they're side by side as they head over the start-finish line for the first time. Harold dropped back in behind.
Also side by side is Richards and Bennyworth down the main straight. Richards just gets to position, brakes at the right time. Harold really deep on the brakes there as Lewis Manley sets the fastest lap of the race.
Well, Harold seemed to be going up the inside of Kelly there, but Kelly shut the door very firmly and actually pushed him onto the grass on the inside. So very hard touring car racing there. We'll wait and see what the race directors think about that, and they should let us know if they do feel anyone's been out of order. But at the moment, it's still Kelly. Look at this bunch behind. You've got the Subaru there of Davies, and then you've got Matt Richards, our championship leader in the black and red MG. He's just in front of Handover now. He's just got past Bennyworth in the Camsport Ice Astra. So Handover, Bennyworth, then you've got Ben Winter in the red and white Subaru, then Richardson, then Brewster, Brown and Hyde. So the field's still very close together on just lap 2. In the corner of your screen, we're riding on board with Francis Harold following Christian Kelly up through Druids, just going up to Druids Corner now. And he's putting a lot of pressure on Christian Kelly at the moment. And behind them, an absolute train, really. This is Matt Richards is swarming around the back of Davies, who's got past him somewhere. So Richards trying to go on the outside of the black and white Subaru into Lodge Corner.
I think this is going to be the important story of the race, is Matt Richards' comeback as Lewis Manley sets another fastest lap of the race. He is on fire. I think, and Harold overtook Kelly going into turn 1.
Harold is, he's got that move done. He tried it last lap. It looks like he's done it this time. They're still side by side as they head down Cascades. You can see that Harold's got the inside.
Curry having a look as well up the inside, and
contact.
He taps.
Yes, that was definitely quite a bit of contact, but I think Curry's backed out of it, and Kelly has maintained his 3rd position. Here comes Richards. He's trying to get around the outside of Davies as they come up to the Shell Oils corner. Curry's there in front of them.
Good of Curry to back out of it, but look at where Richards is now. He's right with these guys. His comeback starts now, so he's probably forgotten race 1 already. He's now thinking the race weekend starts for him right now. Let's get past these cars, let's get into the top 3, and let's get as close to the lead as we can. Lewis Manley 127.1, Harold in 2nd and Kelly in 3rd are in the 129s.
Well, they're having a bit of a battle, you see, between them, Kelly and Harold, so that's definitely, you can see how much it's slowing them down. Manley has got the advantage of being out in front in clean air. He's able to run his own race. So that's making a big difference already to this race. But Richards, he's already up 4 places from his starting position of 9th. He's on the back of this. He's on the back of Curry and Kelly. Harold has broken away just a little bit, I think. Here goes Richards. He's alongside Curry as they come across the start-finish line. And they're heading now down to Old Hall Corner on lap 4. Richards is up the inside.
He's definitely got that nailed. Very good driving from the 2 of them. Very fair. And now he'll be setting his eyes on Kelly, and it'll be payback for race 1, I think. So let's see what happens here. He's very close to getting into the top 3. Something Lewis will not want at all.
No, I think Richards will be acutely aware that Manley is out front and is amassing points.
I think Manley has checked out of this race. He is gone. He's so much faster than everyone else at the moment. No one is anywhere near the pace he's setting. As Richards looking all the way around the outside of Kelly there, going into the chicane, outbrakes him. That gives him the inside line for the next part of the corner, and he's got the move done. And he shuts the door on Kelly. Kelly had to think about coming back at him, but no, Richards having none of that. Fantastic driving, and we see headlights ablaze behind these cars as well. Lots of distraction tactics going on. Great racing all over.
Yeah, Richards, brilliant there, the way he got through the chicane. He carried so much speed through the middle of the chicane that he'd actually got the pass done before they came out for the next corner at Knickerbrook, so he'd already got it done. Contact there, and Richards has been taken out by one of the Pink Panther Astras. I couldn't see who that was.
That's huge. That's huge for the race. Richards and Curry right to the back of the field, and Lewis in the lead of the race. Lewis could jump back into the championship lead if it finishes like this.
I think we need to try and find a replay of what happened there, because we saw the end of it, but I can't quite understand how the Astra came in at such speed and really just wiped Richards out there. So disastrous luck for Matt Richards so far at this Oulton Park round. Similar in a way to what happened to Lewis Manley at Thruxton. Just nothing going his way. He was driving a tremendous race up until that point, and now he's down in 12th position. You can see just off the back of that group, which includes Ben, Brown, Hyde and Richards. Richardson, Brown and Hyde. So, yeah, Richards has got a lot of work to do. Here we see it, Curry very, very late on the brakes trying to pass Kelly, and I think he's just got that all wrong. and he's absolutely torpedoed Richards off the track. I don't know. There was no way Curry could make the corner, I don't think. I don't know. It was just a big mistake, I think, there from John Curry.
I think he outbraked himself. He might say that Richards braked early, but I feel he fully outbraked himself there, unfortunately. And it's blown the championship wide open, and now Richards' job has gone from hard to almost impossible in this race.
Yeah, on lap 6 of 18, Richards is 12th, and he's just there on the back of Daniel Hyde. Further up the order, we've got then Manley still out in front on his own. Francis Harold is running second. Christian Kelly there third. He's under a lot of pressure from Davies in the Subaru. And then the other Subaru of Winter as well is also there. And then we've got Handover in sixth with Bennyworth seventh. Cameron Brewster in another Subaru running eighth. Ben Brown ninth with Richardson 10th. So it does look like Kelly is struggling with the weight on this car. He seems to be accumulating cars behind him.
He is, yes, and Davies looks much faster than him at the moment. Fastest lap comparison is 0.6 of a second. There's a big difference in time. Everyone behind, well, the next 3 cars behind Kelly are faster than him lap time wise. Let's keep an eye on Richards in the bottom right corner of the screen. Let's see how high he can get up. He's going to be on a mission now. He's not going to be happy. And I've got a feeling he's going to take some silly manoeuvres to try and get back in front. He needs to calm his head. Looking around the outside there, that final corner and hide is not the smartest place to attempt to overtake someone. I think he needs to just get his head back together, focus, and start making those moves.
Well, we know that Richards has done it several times before, so I expect to see him come through the field, but how far up can he get in with only 11 laps to go?
And Ben Winter's come alive all of a sudden as well. He was all over the back of Davies there, so we're having Subaru on Subaru action, and I think this is the first time this year when we've had 2 of them this close together on track.
Yeah, and we've actually got 3 Subarus in this race as well, which is quite good to see. Bit of variety. So you've got Davies there in the black and white, and then the Winter in the red and white, and then a little bit further back, Cameron Brewster is running that blue Subaru as well. So yeah, good to see a bit of variety on the field, because we've got a lot of Astras in this field, and it's good to see some Subarus in there as well.
Just a quick insight on Lewis's pace. Now that Francis is in the clean air, he's still 0.7 of a second slower than Lewis's best lap.
Yeah, so Lewis is just he's setting his own pace, his rhythm. Look at what is, here we go. Davies is nudging Kelly a little bit, and Winter's right in the back of him as well. He's on the grass. Handover's there as well, trying to pick up the pieces. Can he go on the outside? I don't think so. Handover's on the grass. And then behind them, Bennyworth as well. He's now alongside Handover.
Yeah, not really an overtaking place there for Handover, but he kind of had to go for it. But now he's squeezed Bennyworth off the road. Lots of great action in this race. Once again, these guys really delivering and showing just what they can do when they really push.
Yeah, Handover and Bennyworth side by side. Handover has the inside. Brewster in the Subaru is also seeing if he can sneak through. Bennyworth's done a very good line around the outside. He's carried a lot of momentum, but I think Handover's still just in front.
I think the dirt on his tyres held him back a little bit there. Brewster's got a great run on him going into turn 1.
Yeah, so Brewster should get up the inside of Bennyworth there, and he has done. And then just behind them, look, there in the green Astra, that's Ben Brown. He's there as well. Down Cascades again on lap 8. Bennyworth just behind Brewster. Handover now is 6th. Here we are with Winter, who's running 4th in the red and white Subaru, and then Christine Kelly.
Yeah, I tell you what this had done before we all outbraked ourselves into that corner, was Kelly had actually pulled out a tiny bit of a gap there. They're now bringing it back in again now that the racing's calmed down, but a little bit of fresh air for Kelly there. So lots could still happen, but Kelly really doing well to keep that car in 3rd place, considering this is his first experience of the touring car. Yeah. With full weight on it. He's got this full 75 kilos of weight. And when you're not used to that, it does make the car feel completely different. Richards, just a quick update, he's going up the inside of Richardson. It's a confusing battle. Yep. As they go into the start-finish straight, which puts him up to, where is he on track? 8th place. Yeah, so not a bad comeback so far. Whoa, and Kelly and Winter really coming together there. And Davies all over the back of them.
Oh, you see Winter nudged out Kelly there a little bit down the straight.
Kelly dropping back now. Davies
contact.
gives him a little bit of a tap and tries to outbrake Winter into turn 1. That was never really going to happen.
So Kelly's been completely Subaru'd there. They roughed him up a bit, and then
They have, and look at this, that Richards up the inside of Bennyworth now. Bennyworth just going backwards, so now he's on the back of Ben Brown. So a great comeback drive so far. Still 9 laps to go in this race, only halfway through, and if it continues like this, I think we're going to run out of breath before then.
we've had a hell of a lot of action already on lap 9, and yet I think there's plenty more to come. You can see Richards in the corner of your screen just trying to get past Ben Brown. It looks like he's going to have the inside for Druid's corner, I think, if he can maintain his position there. It looks like he's got through. We've now got Subarus running 3rd and 4th, so we could have a Subaru on the podium for the first time this season. That could be an interesting one. Kelly has dropped right back now that he's been passed by the 2 Subarus, and he's now defending from
Ben Winter
handover.
did get a podium earlier in the season.
Did he? We had him
sure.
on the podium? Anyway.
I'm pretty sure I remember someone interviewing him.
Yeah, it's going to be good, though, to see 2 Subarus up there. And, of course, Brewster in the other one is only 7th. But Kelly is now got handover with his lights ablaze right behind him. Winter, of course, has gained 10 places from the start of this race. So he is the big mover, and he's having actually a tremendous race too.
I mean, he did go for the interesting strategy in race 1 where he just put the soft tyres on because his race was over after his spin. So we're really seeing his true pace now, I think, and he's running right where he should be. Also, you've got to remember he's running with no weight with these guys.
Yeah, so his last lap, Ben Winter, was of 27.5, compared to Lewis Manley did a 28.4 last time around. So at this part of the race, Winter is pushing quite hard, I think, and he's definitely delivering very good lap times. But will it cost him towards the end? Here's Kelly fending off Handover and Cameron Brewster in the other Subaru. So Handover there in the turquoise and pink Astra, swarming around all over the back of Christian Kelly as they head down to Hislops.
A very lonely race out the front for Lewis and also for Francis. He's got a big gap to Ben Winter as well. These two are probably just going to cruise their way to the finish line at this point.
Yeah, I think the guys out front are in a very strong position. They're able to run their own race, but further back it is chaos, and here's Handover. He's trying to get the inside for Druids. He's got the inside. He's there. Kelly gives him a bit of space, and it looks like Handover's through. He will also have the inside for Lodge corner. Brewster is now going to try and get up the inside of Kelly into Lodge. He's having a look. Kelly's got to try and stay as close as he can.
Brewster really showing great mentality here, not just diving for the position, just waiting for that mistake to happen.
And
there
Richards.
he goes. He's alongside. He just has to outbrake him. And look at Richards. He's right up there too, but he contacts the car in front of him. He needs to just tone it down a bit. He can't afford to drop down again. He's in 8th position, which is 1 position better than race 1. So far he's had a great comeback, but he needs to be careful not to just tag himself off the track.
I think he was trying a bit of an opportunistic move there, and I don't really think Kelly knew he was there, actually. The way Kelly turned into that corner, he turned in like he didn't think anyone was going to be alongside him. So bit of contact, but they both got away with it, and they'll carry on. So Kelly definitely struggling with the weight. He's down to 7th as it stands, and now he's got Richards all over him. He's going defensive into Hislops. This, of course, is where Richards has pulled off some great pass. He pulled off a great pass on Kelly early in the race at this point. Not this time around, though.
And just in the bottom right of your corner, you've got the Subaru on Subaru action for 3rd place. Winter versus Davies. Who wants that podium more? They're both pushing each other really, really hard. They're great racing. I think that Davies is just hoping for a mistake. But look at this action hotting up now with Richards all over Kelly.
And Ben Brown there as well is now on the back of Richards, and then just behind them Bennyworth is also still there. So it's bunching up a lot. Brown has tried to go on the outside. It looks like he's lost a place to Bennyworth. Kelly really struggling. Richards has got alongside, but he's going to be on the outside for Old Hall corner. So I think Kelly should be able to defend it, or can he get on the outside? Can Richards do it?
What? The 2 Subarus?
He can. Richards has done it. He swept round the outside there, a bit like Manley did at the start.
Sorry to butt in, but the 2 Subarus are catching Francis Harold in 2nd place, unless they're coming to lap John Curry. But I can see a Pink Panther, well, a Racing Point style car
Yep.
in front of those two Subarus,
Well,
and the gap doesn't look that big.
The last time around, Harold was nearly a second
Side by side,
quicker,
Ben Brown
slower.
up the inside, 3 wide into the hairpin, and it was always going to end like that. There was no way all 3 of them were going to stay on circuit. Well tried, but wow, that came from nowhere.
That was a big, bold move there from Ben Brown, and yeah, I don't think it was ever quite going to work. And there was a bit of contact between the two Camsport cars as well. But as a result, Kelly has just fended them both off for the time being. But yeah, a big move there by Ben Brown.
You can't look away from this race for even a second. Mark looks at the timing screen for 1 second, and all of a sudden we're 3 wide into a corner that no one's attempting to overtake.
It's absolute chaos trying to keep track of what's going on. I was going to tell you that Francis Harold had a bit of a slow lap. He did a 28.7, which is 1.1 seconds slower than Ben Winter in the Subaru. So I think that's what's happening at the front, is that Winter is catching.
I almost think the two Subarus are just going to work together now to bring this gap down and then see what they can do. 5 laps to go, and if they keep that pace up, they're going to be right on him. You can really see how much they've closed on this lap alone.
Yeah, they've got some real pace, and yeah, maybe they are working as a bit of a team. Winter just dragging Davies around. Davies just sitting there, just trying to take advantage of the slipstream. But Kelly there is still just in front of Bennyworth and Brown. Brown regrouping after that extravagant attempt at the Shell Oils corner last time around. So they're battling over 8th position. Manley's still very much out in front. He's doing decent lap times. Now Francis Harold's last lap was a 29.0, so even worse again. He was 1.4 seconds slower than Winter on that lap. So the Subarus are going to be right on the back of Francis Harold very, very soon, and there's 5 laps to go.
That's a worrying pace. Maybe those earlier battles have really hurt Francis's tyres. Just want to say thank you to Sean King on the chat for saying, yes, the Subaru came in 3rd place. Davies, 3rd place at Thruxton.
Yes. Well, can Winter go one better? Can he get a 2nd place?
I've got a feeling it's coming. Look at Winter all over him. We're going to make that our main view now because this battle is too good to miss.
So here we are. Harold fending off the 2 Subarus, Winter and Davies. In fact, Winter's sliding through Cascades a little bit there, and Davies has got a bit of a run on him as they head up to Shell Oils corner. How is he going to play this then? Harold has clearly got a pace deficit at this stage of the race. He is struggling. Oh, Davies has passed Winter at Cascades. So a great move. We didn't see that one coming. He's just dived down the inside, and a clean, perfect pass by Davies to take that 3rd place away. So now it's Davies. Bit of contact into the back of Harold at the Shell Oils corner there. Winter very, very sideways coming out, all crossed up. And he's lost a bit of ground as a result, but Davies is right on the back of Harold now as they head down to Hislop chicane. Harold goes defensive. Davies can't quite get an overlap in the middle of the corner there. Through Knickerbrook, now up Clay Hill towards Water Tower. They go. Harold is at the moment. He's just got a couple of car lengths. We've got a yellow flag in sector 2 somewhere around the lap. So through Druid's corner.
Unfortunately, I think that was Ben Brown potentially because he's dropped behind Daniel Hyde now, and he was right there with Kelly and Bennyworth.
Yeah, so Ben Brown falling back down the order, back to 11th. Here we go. Davies has almost got alongside Harold. He's going to try and get the inside as they head down to Old Hall corner.
Francis holds these up for a few more laps, well, let's say 1 or 2 more laps, then Handover and Brewster could be right on, and that was quite rude, shutting the door there.
He absolutely slammed the
door. And Winter's back through.
Yeah, Harold absolutely slammed the door in Davies' face there. You're not coming through this time.
And look at Brewster and Handover there, side by side, coming into the chicane, is that? I think that's quite a far back. I think I need to bring that forward a bit. Yep, there we go. There we go, that's better.
Yeah, Handover and Brewster fighting it out at Shell Oils corner in the corner of your screen there.
And you can see how much that gap's come down as well. And then right behind them is Matt Richards.
So Richards, yeah, 7th at the moment after his very, very topsy-turvy race for him. But it does look like the Subarus have got a little bit more pace.
Side by side for Brewster and Handover. And Brewster around the outside makes it work. But look at Handover with the crossover. Can he make it stick? Will he just outbrake him into the next corner? I don't really think he's side by side enough. They look close.
Heading down
Is he going to dive bomb?
No, not into Druid's a very fast corner there. I don't think he was brave enough to try that. Probably end in tears. But Harold still fending off these two Subarus, but it's Winter in front of Davies at the moment. Winter's got an excellent exit out of Lodge Corner this time around. Harold's taken the middle of the road, middle of the track, so that he can defend into Old Hall Bend. And yes, he maintains his position in front. But Winter really, really putting the pressure on. Davies is right there as well. Brewster is now 5th in the other Subaru, so we've got Subaru 3, 4, 5 at the moment. So maybe the tyre usage on the Subaru is suiting them a bit more around this circuit, I would suggest.
Yeah, the rear-wheel drive cars do tend to benefit on the tyre wear. And look at this, lots of nudging and love tapping. He dives down the inside, beautiful move. Oh, he runs him wide though.
Here comes Davies.
And Davies is going to make the best of this.
Davies has gone from 5th to 3rd. Sorry, so from 4th to 2nd. Because of that contact between Winter and Harold. And now Brewster is also right on the back of Harold as well. So we've got Subaru 2nd, 3rd and 5th.
Now, was Harold entitled to more space there?
I'd have to see the replay.
Yeah, it was. I think it was on the limit. Personally, it was very close. Because it looked to me that eventually Winter did just push him off the circuit, but Harold maybe should have conceded the corner a bit more.
I think, yeah, he'd lost the corner. If I was Harold, I'd have just conceded the corner and tried to get a good exit. But it was, it is a serious fight going over 2nd place. So,
but look at how this group has concertinaed right up now with Brewster all over Harold. He's got another Subaru on his tail.
Yeah, another Subaru. Brewster is right on the back of Harold now, and Handover there as well in the other Astra just behind them. And then Richards, who's catching this group.
And the two Camsport cars side by side as well. So just battling wherever you look in this race, keeping it alive.
Yeah.
Richards and Bennyworth and Kelly. So Bennyworth takes the position from Kelly. I think Kelly really struggling with this weight in the race.
Yeah. To be expected, really, the first time he's driven with this sort of weight on.
Look at Brewster. Oh, no. And then up the inside goes Handover and Richards.
So, yeah.
Icing on the cake for those two.
Thank you very much. Richards will be very pleased to see that, and Handover as well. They just got to drive past two cars with almost no defending because they were busy just sort of crashing into each other.
Drivers acting like it's the final race of the season, that they're driving for the championship. This is phenomenal racing.
Yep, so Lewis Manley still maintains his lead, but we've got Davies in the Subaru running 2nd, Ben Winter 3rd, Handover now 4th, Richards now 5th, Harold dropping back down the order. He's got
Hyde is all over Kelly now. I think Kelly's tyres are just completely gone.
Yeah, he's definitely the walking wounded, as you might say. He's almost unable to hold a line in the corner. Look, he runs wide and Hyde just drives up the inside. So Kelly's almost unable to maintain any corner speed at all at this stage. We are on the last lap, so not too far for Kelly to limp home. You can see in the corner screen, Manley out on his own. He's pretty much had it all his own way this race since he got in the lead.
It has to be said, Lewis has driven fantastically this race. We've not seen much of him, but his pace has been electric all race. He pulled that gap, and since then he's been untouchable. He's just controlled the pace, controlled the tyre wear. This is the Lewis Manley of last season. This is the Lewis Manley we've not seen so far this year.
No, we haven't seen him dominating races like this so far this season, so he'll be pleased. It's his first win of the season. I can't believe that.
Final lap, Brewster on the outside going into the chicane. They're going to give us a grandstand finish, and Francis just holds the position somehow. I really thought Brewster had that said and done. Let's see what he can do into the final part of the lap. We will watch Lewis going across the line, but we'll keep it in a smaller screen because this is the closest battle on track right now.
Yeah, so Harold defending into Druid's corner. So we just got this run down to Lodge corner for the last lap. This is the only real chance that Bruce is going to have, is into this corner, into Lodge corner.
Well done to Lewis, winning the race.
Lewis has won it by quite a long way. But here we go. It looks like Harold's going to hang on.
Second place, Davies. Winter third. Handover fourth. Richards, a great comeback to get back to fifth. Harold sixth. And Brewster seventh. Great battle. Can we breathe now?
Yeah, I think I need a break after that. It's another fantastic race. Yeah, battling wherever you looked. Couldn't take my eyes off it. Every time I looked at the timing screen, something had happened.
For sure. I do want to shout out as well. As I said it, I just cursed him in my own mind. I was about to say well done to Daniel Hyde. I think P9 would have been a personal best for him, but Brown's just pipped him at the line, which is a big shame.
Yeah, and Kelly eventually 12th. So he lost that place to Hyde. He lost another one to Richardson. Yeah, Kelly looked like he couldn't even maintain any corner speed at the end of that race.
That's literally all down to no practice with the full weight. Drivers like Manley and Richards, they know exactly what to expect from that car with that weight. When you give it to someone that is as fast as Kelly and can look after their tyres, it's a big shock. It's a massive shocker.
Yeah, we're hearing that Kelly had 0 on his tyres, so by the end...
That makes perfect sense, to be fair.
So anyway, we will try and grab a word with our top 3 drivers and just see what they made of that, and some new faces really to talk to. I guess we've got Lewis Manley, Davies, and Ben Winter will join us in the next few minutes. Okay, so I've got our race 2 winner with me already. So, Lewis Manley, you were saying you desperately wanted to get your first race win the season, and you did that in fine style in that one.
Yeah, finally I've won my first race. Pretty easy, to be fair, from the start, because as I said, I wanted to pull away, feel comfortable out front, and then for the others to defend, and that's what's exactly happened. So, very pleased with the result.
You made a tremendous start, and you just basically went straight around the outside of Kelly at the first corner. It just looked like you knew how much grip or balance you would have at that corner, and you just decided, I'm just going to take this lead straight away.
Yeah, exactly. I was trying to maximise the corner, and I exactly did that. I was going for it, because when we go side by side, and my car was ahead, and I wanted to go all guns blazing, and that's what exactly happened. It worked, and I pulled away in front, and very nice on the tyres, and the car really felt perfect in that race, and I had no trouble whatsoever. Yeah,
okay, so a nice, easy win for you. Another difficult race for Richards. He was sort of a bit up and down. I think he ended up 5th. So, again, another good advantage, good haul of points for you in the championship.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I desperately needed today to close in the championship, because I need pretty much a miracle to win this thing. And as he made a mistake in race 1, he had a so-and-so race 2, but recovered to 5th. So I've closed even more in the championship. So hopefully the reverse grid will be quite abyss, and then he doesn't qualify, reverse grid too high, and hopefully I can make use of it and try and, wherever I start, try and make the positions.
Yeah, okay. The reverse grid race next, always a little bit of a lottery, this one. But how are you feeling about the potential of having to battle your way through a pack?
Well, hopefully get clear, because with reverse grid, someone can so easily be taken out, because Oulton Park is such a narrow circuit, it's so tight, and overtaking is quite difficult. So I'm hopefully, however gets reverse, I can make my way up, and hopefully the car can feel as good as race 2.
We've seen some tremendously exciting racing down throughout the whole field, actually, in both races, and some very fair racing, it has to be said. Generally, there's been small amounts of contact, but nothing terrible. So it seems like the drivers have got their heads around this circuit, and so I think we should get a really exciting race 3.
Hopefully, because I like this track, because I was very quick last year, and I was had a so-and-so qualifying, but made up in the races. So I've got to hope to finish not too far behind Richards. Depends how many get reversed. So I'll just need to keep with him in the championship.
Yeah. Okay, Lewis. Best of luck for race 3.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, so we will get our second place driver, Ben Davies, will join us. Yes. So, yeah, got the Subaru, its best result of the season, into second place.
Is it the best result of the season?
It, I believe, yeah, I think the best result we've had for Subaru is third.
I think Ben won
So far?
a couple of races ago.
Anyway,
Yeah, anyway.
a very good result for you. You look particularly strong towards the end.
Yeah, that's just the nature of the Subaru, really, to have more pace at the end. I think at about lap 6, the front-wheel drive cars start struggling a bit more than we do. So me and Ben sort of work together to make our way towards the front, and yeah, it was a
Yeah,
really good race.
you could see that you were sort of working together in a way, although there was a bit of contact here and there, and there was quite a bit of pushing and shoving, but nothing really beyond normal touring car racing, I don't think, but it was definitely very entertaining to watch.
Yeah, it was. It was when I got through into second, I thought I've pretty much got this P2 in the bag, and then I made a mistake in the double right-hander, and then Ben had a chance to go around the outside, and we sort of got stuck together. I thought we were both going to go off the track and lose our podium, but luckily we kept going and got P2, which is my best result of the season. So yeah, very pleased.
Yeah, I must be really pleased. You really made a lot of places up during the race. So race 3, are you feeling confident about race 3, the reverse grid?
Yeah, depends where I start. If it's in the top 6, 7, I think we can probably fight for another win. Well, my first win or another podium. Anywhere like 10th, 9th, I think it'll be more difficult to get through. But yeah, I'm hopeful to have a good result.
Yeah, okay. Well, best of luck for race 3.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. And now we've got Ben Winter will join us. So third place in the end, Ben, although I think you had second for a while. But yeah, tremendously exciting race from our perspective. So you end up third. Do you think you could have really been second, or was it a bit of a lottery out there really as to who was going to get that second place?
Yeah, well, I started at the back of the grid from 13th. I should picking them off one by one.
Yeah, you made an amazing progress. You made something like 10 or 11 places for your position on the grid, which is way more than anybody else in the race. So,
yeah, I had to fight for the final few. Me and Ollie, we race karts together, so we're really good mates. So we have a lot of respect in terms of sort of racing.
It did look like you were sort of working together at times.
No.
But there was also times when you were kind of pushing each other off the track.
Yeah, I'm going to say we work together. In my mind, I wanted to beat him. He's my teammate. You know, we're doing the British 24-hour next month, so I want to had that on him. But now I'd say we were working together because he wouldn't attack, and then it was only when one of us would make a mistake that it's my turn now to attack him.
I think it's just because you could see that Harold was really struggling with his tyres compared to the both of you. So it was almost like take it in turns to have a go at him, sort of thing.
Yeah, it was. And then when we finally got through, I think he just didn't back out in time. So unfortunately we clashed and just sort of ran it wide, and that's Ollie got through.
Yeah.
And then the pressure was on not to take him out, not to take out my friend.
Yeah.
So I had a very small crack at him in the final corner, around the outside. I didn't back out in time. The exit of the corner came a lot earlier than I expected.
Yeah.
So we did have a little come together. And then just towards the end, when I had whoever was behind me flashing their lights, I thought, oh, the front-wheel drives have caught us up. So we'll just settle down then.
Handover, yes. He liked a bit of headlight action.
Yes. Yeah. It wasn't off-putting. I had plenty of grip available.
So you must be feeling fairly comfortable with this track, with the car on this track. So I guess for race 3, you've got to be optimistic, depending on where you end up. But having battled your way through so many cars in this race, even if you end up fairly deep on the grid for race 3, you'll be fairly optimistic of getting your way through it, I thought.
Yeah, I was just staying out of trouble. Race 1, I lost concentration in the braking zone, accidentally put Curry wide. So I had a stop and go penalty, so dropped to the back of the field. So, yeah, it's hard to fight your way through. Everyone's defending. It's such a narrow track as well.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'd just be like a very small reverse grid.
Yeah,
not too much work to do, and then hopefully either Ollie and I can get a win out of it, because the Subarus are definitely triumph. I think lap 6, everyone else started struggling. So we just started picking them off. It's really good fun. I really enjoyed that. I think I have a bigger smile than Lewis Manley, and he won the race. So
yeah, it was tremendously exciting to watch. So yeah, we really enjoyed it, and we're looking forward to more of that in the in race 3, please.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you very much, man.
All right.
Cheers.
Okay, so we'll take a short break now, and then we will get together for race 3 in just a few minutes' time. Okay, welcome back. We've got a couple of guests here to do the reverse grid draw. We've got Katie and Kaylee here who are going to draw a number out of our Game Boy mug here. Only the highest quality equipment. So Katie's supporting Cameron Brewster, so it better be 7 or above. If it's 6, you're in big trouble. Oh, and I think it's a 9. Do we think that's a 9? It's got a line under it, yes. I'll see if the camera, yeah, that is definitely number 9. So that gives us, that'll give us quite an exciting race because that will really reverse the grid. The top 10 order will be flipped right round. So 9th place, which was Ben Brown, will start on pole position. And alongside him will be Bennyworth. And then Cameron Brewster will start 3rd for this one. So not a bad result for you, and it should give us a very exciting race for race 3, the reverse grid race. So we will take another short break. We'll get the drivers into their pods, and then we will return for race 3. as you can see, are lined up, waiting to set off on their formation lap for race 3 from Oulton Park of the Simply Race British Touring Car Championship. And there you can see the green and black machine, the Astra of Ben Brown, who will start this one from pole position. Alongside him will be Ben Bennyworth in the Cam Sport Ice Car. Cameron Brewster in the Subaru will start 3rd. Francis Harold, who's driving the Pink Panther Racing Vauxhall Astra, will be 4th. And he's had quite a solid day so far. Matt Richards, who's not had a very good meeting this weekend so far, our championship leader, he's going to start 5th in this one. Handover will be 6th. Our second place driver from the last race, Winter, will start 7th. Davies is going to be 8th. Lewis Manley, who won race 2, will start down in 9th. So he's got a big job on his hands to fight his way through. Hyde will be 10th. Richardson 11th. And Christian Kelly, our race 1 winner, will be 12th in this one. And John Curry starting 13th. So a real topsy-turvy grid, which is the idea of the reverse grid format, means that we've got a massively exciting racing prospect, and hopefully not too many accidents.
Yeah, hopefully we'll keep it clean for this final race on lap 1, turn 1. It's been an issue at the last few rounds that we've had. It's always race 3 that causes the drama. But we've got some very fast drivers out of position, and not just because of the reverse grid. So you've got John Curry in 13th, and then you've got Christian Kelly in 12th, and he's back on no weight once again. It's going to be interesting to see what he can do now with that lack of weight. We know he's fast. You know, Lewis is going to be on it, but with the maximum weight, it's going to be a tough race for him. Richards, I think, has got a lot to gain from this race. He's probably confident that he's faster than everyone in front of him. It should be an interesting race, but how good is it to see Ben Brown on pole position?
Yeah, should be really good to see Ben up there, and also Bennyworth and Cameron Brewster as well up in 3rd position. So these are all guys that have shown speed throughout the championship, and it's really good to have them right up at the front for this one. Let's see how far they can get. Maybe let's see if we can get a surprise winner for race 3. So we can hear the lights are about to go out, and they are away. It's a good start from the Subaru of Cameron Brewster. He's already alongside Ben Brown, and it looks like he'll have the lead into Old Hall Corner for the first time, and he does. Round the outside is Bennyworth. He's having a go. He's got round the outside of Brewster, I think, and Bennyworth hits the front.
There's been a crash at the back between Hyde and someone else. I think it's Richardson and Hyde.
Richards was also on the grass down there through Cascades. He was very close to being off onto the grass on the right-hand side. Ben Brown has lost a few places already. He's down to 4th.
Look at Lewis on the outside there. That was deep.
Lewis has got a bit of contact between Lewis and Winter there, coming out of Shell Oils.
I feel like Lewis might complain that he wasn't given enough space there, but it was a dive. Look at Richards, P3 already, on the back of Brewster, who he knows very well, races with a lot. He's going to know that man's tricks like the back of his hand.
Yeah, so Bennyworth didn't get the best initial jump, but was really good round the first corner, took that sweeping outside line like Manley did in race 2, and that got him into the lead when it looked like Brewster would have it. So it's Bennyworth, Brewster, then Richards, then Harold, Brown, Handover, Winter. Manley is 8th, Davies is 9th, John Curry 10th, and Christian Kelly's 11th as they head down to Lodge Corner for the first time.
And we've got Lewis looking all over the inside of Ben Winter in the picture in the bottom right corner. You're not really going to make an overtake going through there unless you're really alongside. I think at the moment he's just trying to put off